When this broke, I was like, "We're talking about this, right?" You're like, "Yep." I was,
this is a thing. This could be a topic. Everybody, audio. All right, guys, let me know if the audio is still bad. Let me know how the audio sounds now, if the audio is still trash or not, because I'm probably going to have to do a straight reboot. It can't load video. We're back. Is it good, though? All right, audio's all good. We are back in the game, for sure. Let's go back here.
Hope you trim this out, or are you keeping this?
Yeah, keep the shit. Forget. I'll trim it out. I'm gonna trim it. All right, here we go. We're back. The audio should be good now. It's on. We're popping for show. This is a complete Ray Fisher, Joss Whedon edition of Yin and Yang. The entire show. We are going to be talking about DC, Joss Whedon, Ray Fisher, Snyder, and a whole bunch of other shit. But shout out to my dog K-Dot for getting us started with the $10 donation. Thank you, K-Dot. Appreciate you, my dog. He says, I got to be mean. Ray Fisher is a punk for this stuff he's doing. We all know he had 3 years since 2017 to speak up, and now he wants to be an internet gangster. He didn't want smoke with Joss then. Interesting take. What do you think about that, Andy?
Dude, that starts us off right there. I got to disagree with K-Dots.
Go ahead. Go ahead and respond to that one real quick.
I got to disagree with K. Look. I don't just. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I'll say, but I think people are just being. Look, we need more information. Is the reality, right? We need to hear from Joss. Is my biggest note on all of this. That said, you don't come out with a threat like that when you're Ray Fisher. I don't believe the dude's an idiot. You don't come out because that's libel, dude. That is some serious accusations. He's got abuse, etc. Like that's painting Joss very badly. You don't come out unless you got some evidence to back it up. So my point is like, look, imagine being on Comic-Con stage. You're Ray Fisher. You're already throwing the ripping off and saying I love Zack Snyder on your shirt, which you got to remember was a very unpopular opinion back at that Comic-Con appearance.
Yeah, it was.
Ray Fisher's had his back for a while, and that proves it. Like, and I remember sitting at that panel, like we were not, nobody liked Zack Snyder. We felt bad because of the tragedy, but there was a part of it where like, well, Joss Whedon made Avengers great, so cool. Maybe he'll make Justice League more fun, right? So Ray's been on Team Snyder for a while, but imagine being on that stage. You think he's going to just be like, no, this movie sucked. When someone asks, what about Joss Whedon? You think new Ray Fisher, who's now Cyborg, who's in with DC, it's happening. It's out of his control. He's a nobody. You think he's supposed to just drop on that stage? Yeah, I don't like Joss. He's been really mean and abusive on the set. I wish they wouldn't have kicked Zack Snyder off. I'm not a fan of this movie. You can't do that in Hollywood, especially if you're Ray Fisher. Now, if you're like Denzel Washington, if you're, hell, The Rock, you can pull that off and you got a little bit of cred. But Ray Fisher doesn't have any. I don't blame him for a second. Dude's got to try to put food on his table. He's trying to make it means in Hollywood. That's what everybody has. I
have an opposite opinion on that. That I'm gonna.
How Ray could have had any. I mean, I look, it would have been cool, but he would have been dead in the water, and it would have gone a completely different way. So yeah, you could go and say I stood up for the thing, but come on, it's Hollywood. That's how it works. Everybody's lying to you. Everybody in Hollywood is lying to you. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, they all have some drama that they aren't allowed to reveal to you because that's how Hollywood works.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. Well, we have stuff that we're going to react to. We're going to look at the clip. We're going to read the tweet and stuff like that. But I think maybe we should go there first. Let's go to the clip.
So there was the first clip.
Yeah, let's go there first. So let's go to the tweet itself.
Brought it up last night. We talked about it last night in the show, and then I did a video.
Here's the tweet. Ray Fisher tweeted this out. It's got already 13,000 retweets. Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johns and John Berg. Accountability is greater than entertainment.
So scroll down on Ray Fisher. There's the one he did 2 tweets before that. Last night he also tweeted a clip from Comic-Con.
Right, which is what I have here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's take a listen.
I mean, Joss is a great guy, and Zach picked a good person to come in and clean up and finish up for him.
With the chest out, Joss is a great guy, and he picked the right person to come and clean up for him with a mic drop and a stare around. Look at this.
Joss is a great guy.
No, I watched that as uncomfortable. Look at Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa just sitting there like, you can just see they're both seething, having to say.
No, I can see it with Jason. I can see it on Jason's face. That's
see
quite
Ray
obvious for me.
Looking like, yeah, I got to do.
So, I saw different. I saw where he was just playing the game. Joss is a great dude, and he's this dude, mic drop, you know what? And Jason's like, that's so full of shit. I can see it on Jason's face for sure. But Ray Fisher, that was real. That was confident.
The question was directed at Ray, and that's my point.
Right.
What is he supposed to say there? No,
you didn't have to say I love him and they picked the right guy. Come on, Andy. You know he could have used what they always use. They use other words. They distract. They detract.
There, he's a nobody. It's so easy to play it now.
You could have changed the subject.
It's everything's on the line. You're Cyborg.
Oh no.
This is pre-cancellations. This is 2000. Like, what was this? 2016.
I'm sorry. He endorsed him.
Everybody does it. Everybody on that panel did it.
They do not boldface lie to themselves and each other in that manner. When someone asks you a question about something touchy, like, what is your political belief? What is your political belief?
Look how they took me out. Everybody lies in Hollywood. It's my point of why Hollywood is garbage. I don't blame Ray Fisher for getting sucked into that world. Everybody lies in Hollywood. That's just BS. You love Gal Gadot, but she sat there too, and I'm sure she's got feelings she's not going to share. Now, granted, they didn't ask her, and she didn't answer it. She's smart. She knows how to play the game. But come on, Ray Fisher was a nobody. He was a fresh fish coming onto that stage, stoked to be there at Comic-Con, and he's got to please the Warner Brothers reps. He's like, damn, I want to do Cyborg the movie. I'm supposed to do Cyborg the movie. He can't bite the hand that feeds right then in that timeline. Come on.
Anything else? Is there anything else you'd like to say before you cut me off a million times? Anything else? Anything? Are you done?
No,
are you done? I like it. All right, for sure. He could have said a million different things that we've seen a million different times when an interviewer asks an actor something they don't want to answer. I understand you're playing it up to be this. He had to. You did not have to double down and go right into it and say, I love the guy. You could say like, oh, I think that time will tell. I'm really fortunate to be here, and I'm glad that and I hope the best for this movie. Henry Cavill did it for 3 years. And now to answer your question.
He's not experienced, as my point is. You know what I mean?
What are you saying?
He's not coached from that PR perspective, is why I was interrupting.
So now we're saying he's not coached. Well, I mean,
know that. Geez. That's my point. What was he done before this movie?
This is the business, dude. This is you don't double down and say you love someone you hate, bro. I'm sorry. If someone asks you a question about someone you despise, you don't double down and say I love him. He's great and awesome. Come on. No one who does that. No.
People in Hollywood do it all.
People in Hollywood, they deflect. They deflect and they deceive. This is outright sucking Joss's cock.
He's playing the ball, is what it is. That's my point.
Which is what do you respect that? Do you respect that? If you have a genuine hate for somebody and then you suck their meat in the media.
I think right now the tables have shifted where now people are seeing the genuineness is actually better. And I think that's happened over the past few years.
Welcome to Jody's Corner Up, what it's all been about 100% real, baby.
And you helped me, right? I think a lot of people are stuck, and that's why I'm giving Ray a little bit of a pass. He's like, everything's on the line for him. You can't just suddenly sit there and be like, I don't like John. Now, I agree he could have handled it better. You're right. And I'm not disagreeing with you. But I give him a pass because he was a nobody on the stage at Comic-Con, and someone asked, all right, so what do you think of Joss? And he's like, yeah, Joss is great. I think
I have a smoking gun.
Probably told to say that.
I was trying to hold my smoking gun, sipping my Superman tea.
But isn't there?
I have a couple of smoking guns, by the way.
I want to hear them, but don't you think there's a point where some reps are like, "Here's what you got to say. Here are your talking points. Say these."
Of course, yes, I agree with that. Of course.
Address, and then he's supposed to just not say the talking points, and then show day one.
Talking points is not. I love. That was not a talking point. That was him. Oh, jeez, Andy, come on.
It's him improvising to play to the man is what he's doing. He was playing to the man.
So
and him coming out now is damn ballsy.
So if someone asked him about how he feels about Hitler, he's supposed to say, "Oh, I thought Hitler. I love the guy. He did what he had to do back then." No, you're gonna say your truth. And speaking of your truth, and speaking since you threw Gal Gadot's name out there, I'm gonna go ahead and it's time. It's time. We have to. What you got?
No, I was gonna say that. Wait, so correct something for me. Was this before or after they shot?
This had. I think this was 2018. This was after, I believe.
That quote, because he said, "Oh yeah, they picked Josh. He's a great guy."
This was in 2017, 2018, I believe. This was afterwards. This was after, for sure.
The quote at Comic-Con was before or after the reshoots?
After. The reshoots? After Josh came, you mean?
Josh came in and did his reshoots. Would somebody help correct us? Because that makes a
Let's look at the date.
What I'm saying.
I'm assuming it was after, but what was the date?
I wondered if he made that call. Oh yeah, Joss Whedon's a great guy. And this is
which Comic-Con was this? You were here, right? Which year was this? Was this 2017, 2018?
That was 20.
Had to have been 17.
Yeah.
Had to have been 2017.
No, it could have been 2016.
Well, if it was 2016, this is before then. I don't think this was 2016.
Can someone do some sleuthing?
He mentioned Joss Whedon in this clip, Andy. So that had to have been 2017.
He filmed after the reshoot, before the film.
Yeah, there it is, July 2017. So that was after Whedon came in already and already did most of the film.
I'm clarifying because it could have been taken either way, because they did a 2016 appearance too, right? But
this was 2017. Right. So this was.
It came out in 2016 or 2017.
It came out a couple months after this panel. So it was already pretty much shot for the most part.
Right. Okay. All right. So then, yeah, you're right. He could have not said "I love him" or that.
Of course.
Not the greatest, but I still,
and I understand. Look, I understand. We're gonna dig into his psyche and stuff like that. So it was nice being at the Justice League premiere. Look, I'm gonna say, I'll save it. Gal Gadot in 2017, before she was a huge anything. Gal Gadot. Do you remember when she came out against Brett Ratner in the Rat Pack? And she says, if Brett Ratner is still working as an executive, I will not be playing Wonder Woman. She put it on the line. People say, NDA. People on Twitter, Jody, you never heard of NDA? Idiots and morons. When you use terms like abuse and you use terms gross, abusive, there's no NDA that prevents you from speaking out about being abused. You can say what you want, and this is what people need to be educated on. There is no NDA that prevents you from speaking against gross and abusive behavior. You guys need to get your brains checked. That's true. We're going to educate you here. We're going to educate you. He used the word gross and abusive. There's not an NDA in this world that silences you from speaking out against that. So I'll say this, Ray Fisher. You're too little too late. This timing is suspect. It is. Gal, on the other hand, when she heard about the womanizing issues of Brett Ratner and the Rat Pack, Gal says, I'm not standing for this. I stand behind my sisters and my women who came out and who have been abused by these women. She said she put her career, Wonder Woman, and the whole franchise on the line to stand up for what she believed in. And I'm seeing Ray wait 3 years later trying to come. Nah, bruh. So miss me with the NDA. Miss me with the profession. Because Gal risked everything to stand up for what she believes in. And guess what happened? Brett Ratner and the Rat Pack is done. Out of there. Warner Brothers got rid of them. That's what being bold is about. That's what standing up for what you believe in is about. If you assault me, well, I don't care if I'm working on a movie or not. I have the right, legal, constitutional right to say something and report it.
You're right. I give her credit for that. At the same time, though, you got to remember that was Me Too. That was the Me Too movement, and that wasn't anything she was saying. That was just because other people came forward.
And that makes it even better.
Very public. So there's a difference here. Because
that makes it even better.
So then what if Joss was abusive to all of them and she kept her mouth shut on that one? I mean, is that?
Do you think Gal would have kept her mouth shut if she was personally abused? When she stood up for other women? No.
That was a public persecution of Brett Ratner. Now, I don't know the guy. I can't speak to it.
She's the one that spiked it, though.
But he canceled him with allegations out there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the hell.
Gal is the main force.
Because Gal did it. Oh, it's no.
Gal's the main force for why he got canceled, Andy.
Calculated into why he got out of that movie, but a lot of people started doing it.
No,
you could make the argument that she was pressured by public to do it.
No, now, what? Oh, shoot.
She didn't have to do it.
Oh, my God. That's some bullshit, bro. That's bullshit.
Dude, I pay attention to every person who got out of
that.
That
is bullshit. She was pressured to say that?
Closely, and everyone was being pressured in 2017. If anybody got exposed, they were all saying, get him out of there.
So now, Gal was pressured to say that she believed those victims, and she was pressured to say that I will not be Wonder Woman unless you leak. Come on, man. You're taking everything from her right now, bro.
Gal Gadot is not being fair right now because you are real, and you got to be real with me right now, Jody.
Real all the time.
You're telling me the public didn't call out Brett Ratner and said he should be removed from there before Gal spoke up. You're telling me the public didn't do that?
Yes, they did. It was a very small movement.
That's public pressure. Now, it could be enough. The amount you want to lean on is whatever you want, but
it didn't. All right.
Her to do something.
Are you? No one told her to do it. She came out on her own volition, and once she made that statement, then it became serious. Then he got out of there. It was Gal that was the ushering of him getting him out of there, bro. It was a little words like here and there, like they did Ben Affleck. Remember when they said Ben Affleck touched a girl on TRL, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." They were like, "Get Ben Affleck out of there." It was like that. Gal made that shit steam. Gal made it fire. That was her doing it. You trying to take it away from her. That's kind of effed up.
There were a lot of allegations that put him on fire is all I'm trying to say.
So you're saying
I'm not trying to say I said it at the beginning. I applaud Gal Gadot for standing up. She didn't have to, and she did. She took those chances.
That's what I'm saying. So what's the difference here with Ray?
This wasn't a personal experience she had where she's coming forward and saying, no, he's a scumbag, I can't do this. This was her reacting to the public outcry of Brett Ratner.
Are you implying, Andy, that Gal values public perception more than her own personal experience?
I mean, that Imagine video didn't help her. Let's be honest.
Are you implying that she cared more about what the public thought, and that's why she was vocal about it?
I'm not going to point her out and say that specifically to her. I think she seems like a really good person. I do. I like her a lot. She seems very genuine, and she's always stood up for herself.
But you're implying something, though. You're implying
every celebrity has to be careful of their brand, and I think when they hear a wrongdoing, she's going to react to it.
All right,
but that's
can you just say what's on your mind?
Public pressures the unfair world. But I'm just saying she was reacting to the public. She was reacting to what the public said.
You thought it was a reaction and not an inner belief?
Someone else here, well, wait a second. Shouldn't Brett Ratner get a trial before we ban him from these movies? One could make that argument, Jody. And she chose to
You are completely taking the whole thunder and intention out of what Gal did here by saying she pandered to a crowd.
You're ignoring the cancel culture, and you're saying it was okay to cancel.
Look, I understand cancel is personal to you, but that ain't the case here.
We have enough evidence at that point to say, yeah, Brett Ratner should be canned. I don't. That's what I'm challenging you.
Me personally, I don't have no evidence.
Neither did I. So, but Gail fired.
They did.
Evidence.
Warner Brothers clearly did, and they kept it under the books and said, "Get up out of here." And Brett Ratner said, "All right, give my check, and I'm gone." Just like what's the dude for NBC who walked away? All those allegations. We don't see no evidence.
I don't know how this turned into an anti-Gal Gadot. I was not
because that's where you took it.
You are ignoring the fact that she was reacting to a public outcry that
I'm not. No, it turned into this because you turned it into this. What are you talking about? Why are you acting like you don't know? We're gonna get back into this. This is all part of the news. What are you talking about? How do you start this? How do you start this? How do you start this? Double down on it. Switch up her beliefs. Say it was something else and say, I don't know how we got here. You know exactly how we got here. You did this shit. You pulled it here.
That you're trying to say that Gal Gadot was, did it, and Ray Fisher's. My point is,
yes, that's what I'm saying. Do you disagree?
Gal Gadot just did what everyone was saying.
Ray Fisher, that's the problem. That's how we got here. That's bullshit. Where's your evidence? That's bullshit. She did it because that's what everyone else was saying. What the frick?
Not anybody. Nobody's called out Joss Whedon yet. In this way, nobody.
I'm Rick.
Now, Gal would have been there. So if he was abusive, nobody's spoken out. Gal did call out Brett Ratner when the public did. And she followed stream. And I applaud her because, look, he probably was doing some of that stuff. But my point is, why are you so okay with her? Like, yeah, everyone's saying he's Brett Ratner. Yeah, he shouldn't be on the movie. Cancel him.
I'm wrecked. So here we go. You said Gal only did it when the public did. Well, guess what, Andy? The public came at Joss Whedon 2 years ago. Where was Ray Fisher then?
Did nothing, right? No, but nobody did. Nobody on that.
All right. How many times has Joss Whedon been on the chopping block? A few times in the last 4 years.
When his ex-wife came out with those accusations,
A
which again,
a few times.
I don't like when it's like a relationship drama. I try to stay away from it.
Oh,
because
jeez, man.
divorce and stuff, it's like, that stuff gets ugly.
My noodle.
Or stuff, yes, his ex-wife came out with some serious
Okay.
What was it, 2 years
Now
ago?
that we have successfully dumbed down Gal's movement, why she got Brett Ratner out of there, let's go ahead and get back into this shit.
Wait, hold on. Wasn't Joss Whedon's allegations before he was brought on for Justice League?
It was when he was rumored to be the director of Batgirl for DC. That's when it came out.
My point is,
It was before Justice League
came out and some other women and said he's a scumbag is what they said allegedly, and then he started doing the reshoots. So keep in mind that's the timeline, and then everybody let him do it. Nobody stood up at that point. Let's be clear. Ray included, all of them. They all just sort of was like, fine, we're going to let this guy work. But they didn't let but Gail didn't let Brett Ratner do it. So I'm just pointing out, like, Hollywood is filled with lying and hypocrisy. I know I like Gail too, but my point is everybody.
It seems like you hate her. You're trying to tear her down.
No, I'm just trying to point out. You're calling out Ray and saying he didn't do it. But
you have proven nothing here. You seem like a hater, Andy.
No, you got to defend her, and I applaud you.
I got to defend her. Man, miss me when she retweeted that Snyder tweet. When she retweeted that Snyder tweet, bro, I was upset.
Blind to the fact that
I'm
she
blind.
Didn't do anything
I feel like you are just so paranoid with cancel culture. Anything that comes with canceling, you can't see through it because you've been canceled.
No, you can't see through it. You won't listen to me. You won't. You
want me to hear? What do you want me to hear, Andy?
All she did was she read the movement as a woman, and good for her. She read the movement and said, I'm not going to support this guy who's all over the media being called out as a predator. So no, get him out of there.
That's all it was?
Did, right? Is that what she did?
No, she did much worse. She said, I will not be going in and working as long as he is working there. You're diminishing what she did.
Without a trial, without evidence.
There's your cancel. There's the canceled Andy talking.
Let's point that out too.
Right? That doesn't matter. You don't know. I don't know. We're in the public. We're out of the know.
Why didn't she call out Joss Whedon, Jody?
They probably obviously know.
Had allegations too. So why is she picking Brett Ratner but not Joss Whedon, who his ex-wife came out and said he's an abuser, he's been hitting on girls who loved Buffy.
Listen to me. Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon is probably a snake.
Why didn't Gal Gadot call out Joss Whedon then?
Could it be because there's a tremendous amount of evidence against Brett Ratner and not Joss?
Both of them had evidence.
Where? How do you know both of them had evidence? Where did that come from? Where's the evidence?
Dude, she's a hypocrite.
There it is.
This.
There it is. Say it. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, Andy. Go ahead and say it. We finally got the truth.
Hollywood is filled with hypocrites.
There we go. Now we got the truth.
I've said it since the beginning.
No, you didn't. She's a hypocrite. There we go. That's all. We spent 20 minutes for you to keep it 100 and say she a hypocrite. Thank you.
Until you pressure me on this, because the point of the matter is you're
playing
admit
victim like a motherfucker.
How can you say she's not a hypocrite in this situation?
Oh,
Why
okay.
is Joss okay? Why is Joss okay?
Crazy.
But Ratner's not? Tell me.
That's crazy. Andy, there were so many women and so many real evidence against Ratner that was spoken on that is undeniable. Joss,
you were making shit up.
All right, for sure. So are you. Okay, we both are.
Than you did.
We both are.
Tell me. Then let's get into Brett Ratner. What was so obvious that Joss Whedon's story didn't, Jody? If you're gonna start telling me truth, genuine facts, tell me what you know.
I know no evidence.
Okay, great. So
what do you know?
And that's worse.
What do you know?
I'm not clarifying you. Don't make a statement like Brett Ratner's worse when you don't actually have those facts. Can I call you out that?
Is Les Moonves worse?
But Jody, don't speak with your chest when shit you don't know. How about that?
True. What have you done here?
Right now,
I'm only responding. You do realize that this all came from you talking out the side of your head.
You're going to defend Gadot. She did this to save. One could argue what she did to Brett Ratner was awful. One could argue.
Argue it.
I'm not doing that. One could do that. And for her to do it to Brett Ratner, but then apparently Ray Fisher's now telling us all, well, Joss is abusive too, and he was abusive on that set. And Gail did nothing. That would prove her to be a hypocrite, Jody. That's just fact.
That's not facts. So say it with your chest, Andy. Keep going. Keep the gal hate going.
No, keep your gal a blindness going. There's no hate. I've said it 10
No
times.
hate.
I can respect her a lot.
Tight.
But my point is, you are trying to defend something.
I brought a DC character into this discussion to prove that somebody can stand up and speak up without an NDA or without fear if you really believe in it, and you tore it down. Because you said I'm a Gal fan.
Whoa.
Well, that's what I brought up.
She did it when the public did it.
Yes, and you said she only did it because the public said so. You said she was coached to doing it. That's bullshit.
Ray's not following a movement right now that's calling out Joss. Ray's doing that at nowhere.
He's not following the movement. Is Black Lives Matter popping?
Years ago.
Is Black Lives Matter a movement right now? He ain't following the movement.
That is, but let's hear what it is. My point is, no one is like announcing it like they did at Brett Ratner. You can't deny.
Wait a minute.
Several people came out about Brett
the
Ratner
hypocrisy here. The hypocrisy here is wrecking.
You blame. Why are you ignoring that? Why are you ignoring that?
What am I ignoring, Andy? I'm about to rake you again, and you're trying to dodge me and distract me. Black Lives Matter is a movement, is it not?
That has nothing to do with Joss Whedon.
Is Ray Fisher black? Is Ray Fisher black?
Is Joss Whedon a racist?
Is Ray Fisher?
Black Lives Matter.
What does that have to do with it? Because black people are empowered right now, bro. What the freak is wrong with you?
No, you cannot compare.
Black people are not empowered in 2020 versus 2017.
Hold on. Rewind. When Brett Ratner was called out by Gal, several people specifically came after Brett Ratner with allegations.
Oh my God. All right, for sure. I'm going to go ahead. I am completely wrecked. My noodle is melted right now. Let's continue. So Ray Fisher says these things about Joss Whedon. And the thing, here's what I feel about it. I think that you said that you need to hear from Joss Whedon, which that was the first thing you said, which I could agree on. Before I hear from Joss Whedon, I need to hear from Ray Fisher, the accuser. He didn't say what he did. So Ray Fisher said abuse, unprofessional, completely unacceptable. With arrest. What'd he do? Welcome, Irving Cruz. Shout out to you, man. The tier force is coins up in the air. Coins, please. Thank you. Welcome to the membership squad, bro. I appreciate you. Passions are high right now, so I'm going to keep on pushing. He needs to say what Joss did. When you accuse somebody, you need to say what was done wrong. We still, with this tweet, and I looked at his Twitter account to see what else he tweeted as a follow-up. This tweet came out 4 hours ago, and he has not retweeted or put out another tweet saying what he did. That automatically is suspect to me as well. The fact that you would throw...
To add to your suspect, though, he's doing it like in the tiered, right? Because last night he did one that was very broad.
Right.
Set the tone to sort of like, and then today
but this is a huge step, though. When you say someone abused you, you got to follow it. What did they do?
No, agree, but it feels like we're waiting for.
All right, yeah, and maybe he's trying to
steps of what he's doing.
Maybe he's building hype around it and commercializing it, which I would say that you wouldn't like that, Andy. That's against your belief. If you were personally abused, you should say what it was and stop using it for clicks and views and to build hype and wait for stage 3. I'm going to drop a bomb. That's whack. If that's the case,
still calculated a little bit.
Calculate. That's whack. That's another thing I have problem with this. You ain't even said what he did yet. I am not defending Joss Whedon here. This is more of a what's going on with Ray Fisher first. Before it's like when a victim comes into the police station. I was just raped. This guy raped me. Hold on, ma'am. What happened? Where were you? Where were you at? Who were you with? Any witnesses? What happened? Slow down. Start from the beginning. Give me details before they start to load the shotguns in the patrol cars and go raid and knock someone's front door in. That's what this is about, and that's what I want. Clarity. Bro, you can't just say I was abused and then let that shit sit for 4 hours on Twitter. This is messy. This is not how it's done. What happened to you, bro? What is it? So, first things first, speak up, Ray Fisher. Then, after what we get, maybe today, tonight, tomorrow, 3 days from now, who the freak knows? Whenever we find out what Joss did to him or the cast, or if he's speaking up for other people, then we can start getting those freaking the mob torches. If what we see is like, oh, that's effed up, then we can start loading up the shotguns, hopping in a police car, riding down to Joss's house and kicking this motherfucker's front door in. This is not Joss is, let me tell you, creatively, I do like Joss Whedon's work. I liked Firefly, the show. Buffy is supposed to be a really good thing. I didn't watch that. I love the first Avengers. The Assemble scene is still the best thing in the MCU. And here's another thing. And Andy, you could respond to this after and this ties into what Ray Fisher said. He came out and he's saying, I respected Joss Whedon at the point of Age of Ultron because his film was corporate meddled with, right? And Zack Snyder could have took a cue from this book. Marvel was messing with Age of Ultron, kind of messing with his vision, and Joss wasn't having it. And here's another slap at the people who said, NDA. Joss Whedon, for the promotion of Age of Ultron, was telling interviewers left and right, this movie sucks. This movie is not what I wanted. I had to shoehorn scenes in there. I am not proud of this product. He let the world know that his film was meddled with. They messed with his vision, and the film is not something that we should be super excited for. And he was right, because Age of Ultron turned out to be a very mediocre film. And that I respect. I respect when you tell the truth as you see it as a creator. Him as a person, he seems like a piece of shit. Andy, what is your response to that when he came out and talked about Age of Ultron?
Yeah, look, I told the story, but like when we did the Honest trailer, when he was shooting, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he ran into Hal at a coffee shop, and he was like, and we were like, "We do Honest trailers," and he told Hal, "Oh yeah, you're gonna hate on this movie." So look, I don't have any experience aside from that through his story. I've heard he's nice. I've heard he's a dick. I don't know, and that experience, the things you're saying, that the movie was bad. I don't remember him doing that, but I agree with him. The movie was bad. But look, the reality here though is he's been accused of stuff, mostly from his wife, and then some other little accusations there, right? But there, I rooted around for my video today when I was looking around and trying to get feedback, and yeah, there is rumors around. I've asked some sources like, yeah, he's kind of a pain in the ass on set. People don't always love working with him. But I take that with a grain of salt. Like working on a movie is such a hard thing to do that sometimes directors are just jerks because there's pressures. Granted, you shouldn't have to be a jerk and do a movie. Like you should be able to work both ways. That's what assistant directors are for, to like help be the bad guy on sets, to like help yell at everybody. But yeah, sometimes the pressure gets to a director. Christian Bale, what Lewis pointed out, like lost it on his set too, and I think had a reason to. So sometimes on that set, there's so much pressure that's hard for me to just write off a person as, are they a jerk when they're in production? Look, Michael Bay is a jerk. People sort of are prepared and know and good. Some people say David Fincher's a pain in the ass. He'll shoot 100 takes and lose his temper. So that's my point of like, someone who's abusive on set, that's where, so because I wanted to add this point. Like Ray could take this in a bunch of different ways. People are saying, well, he could be Jussie Smollett right now and just making stuff up. And the truth is he could feel, yeah, I always felt threatened. I always thought he was like racist against me. If he could just said that right now in this climate, Joss is done. Doesn't even need evidence. That's what's so scary about the culture we live in right now. It's happening all over. So it's hard for me to like sit there and I say, damn, why is Ray doing this is the question I keep asking and I'm trying to get to, because if he wants to cancel him, he could come out, cancel him with or without evidence, I think right now, depending on what he says next. So we might be reading the room to see, are people down?
Why is that though? Why could he cancel him whether or not without evidence? Why? Why'd you say that?
I just think, right, I mean, if he's a scumbag.
Because the Black Lives Matter movement gives him power. That's
true.
why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if he's a scumbag, like that guy who we watched, that Carlos guy who took advantage of it, if he wanted to be like that and just sort of, you know what, I got the power, I'm going to abuse the power right now, he could if he wanted to. That would be really shady of him, and I hope he doesn't. But, that's a reality right now we got to understand. So that's what's scary about this. Just like with the Me Too movement, clearly it wasn't all accurate. And right now we're like getting in a new movement where people are like that Carlos guy are taking advantage of it. It just makes everyone realize, well, shit, we got to pump the brakes and make sure. And I think you said it right. What did he do? We need Ray to like really.
That's the first step, right? Could we now pivot and agree that that's the first step, not going at.
I think because even before Joss can respond, you're right. Like, what is he even responding to? I think is important.
Exactly.
Having a broad accusation thrown at you like Ray did, it's pretty scummy because it's like Joss is like, what are you talking? I had some women do that to me, and I'm like, Roxy, what the hell did I do, Roxy? Like, I'm still trying to figure it out, and she's all just, I'm not going to say anything more, and that sometimes is worse because the unknown makes people think, well, is this a sex abuse thing? Is this a racial thing? Who even knows what that abuse, what does that mean? Was he just yelling at the production assistants on the day because they were late or screwed something up and he saw it? It could be, there could have been abuse on that set that was not really actually what abuse should mean. You know what I mean? So there's a lot we need to learn.
Flaming Dragons, $5. Shout out to my girl Fiona. She says, we need evidence. We need pictures or a document before we can put anyone out on blast. And where is the police report if it's that deep? I don't think it's that deep. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not a police. It's not that deep. It's more of a, I think it was a bad experience that was on set. Let me say, like with Joss Whedon, as I've heard, I don't know, man. I believe very much that where there's smoke, there's fire. I've heard a lot of weird things about Joss Whedon when it comes to sexuality, women, when it comes to weirdness, you know, make you feel eerie. I've heard this for, I don't know, I would say for the last 3-4 years now. And there has to be something there, right? I feel like there's something there now. I'm not prodding for it. I need to see facts, evidence, cases. Ray Fisher, I would count him as facts and evidence if he said what happened. Like Ray Fisher, like you're doing this so wrong right now, bro. Like if I'm talking to you, and at the Justice League premiere, it was nice being there, seeing your family and stuff. They look happy to be there. I was happy for you. I was glad to see you up there, bro. I liked you in Justice League. I thought you were one of the strongest actors in that movie. But the way you're handling this is so, it's wrong right now, bro. Like you're not even, you're not saying what was done, and you're lingering it out there, that unknown. And I feel like it's just weird right now. So I will say that Joss got something in that closet, but I don't want to be the type of person like, you know, what was, where, I'm more of the mindset of let this shit, where you can't hide and lie about who you are. You can only do that for so long before it comes out. You know, the truth reveals itself in very mysterious, sometimes direct ways. This may be that time that Joss Whedon gets that sheet pulled over his body and exposes him for who he truly is. But right now, based off what I know, there's not enough there. But you hear so many different things about him. It's like you're hearing this shit from people in the know. You're hearing this stuff in articles. You're hearing this stuff, people contacting me and letting me know about the things about him. And it's like, dang, all right, for sure. Maybe there is something going on here. And if that's the case, I want that shit exposed. Shout out to Bernard on Hart, $20 donation, man. Thank you, brother. He says, Dan Murrell said that you and everyone at Screen Junkies at the time went easy on Age of Ultron because y'all didn't want Marvel fanboy backlash. Yet y'all went hard on everything DC at the time. Please explain, Andy.
He didn't pay me, so I'm not answering him.
There it is. Boom. Bernard on Hart. You better throw that over there on Popcorn Planet tomorrow. Have him get it.
No, but that's not true. That's not actually true.
Okay, there it is. Not true.
So don't always believe what you hear from Dan Murrell.
Here's what I'll say now. Here's another little ace in the hole. Remember when I was on your channel, Popcorn Planet, a couple months ago, and I said I'll give you a little.
Hold on, I want to thank Knock Shadow for forget Cash App.
Oh yes. Oh, Cash App. Go ahead.
Thank you. That was nice of him.
In the Cash App, that's what a Cash App.
I'll answer any question you send me.
Cash App, that's what a Cash App, and there it is. 25 for my dog Knock Shadow, both ways. Shout out to Knock Shadow, bruh.
Gentlemen, thank you, sir.
He says, good luck, guys. I'm late, but at least I'm here. Shout out to Knock Shadow, the Cash App King.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. What you were saying.
Oh, this is for Knock Shadow. This next statement is for Knock Shadow. This Jody Diamonds moment is brought to you by Knock Shadow. Remember when I was on Popcorn Planet and I said, and you were leaking the news about your Fandom Wire source about DC hating Zack Snyder and saying, get out of here with your 20 million. We're not finishing your film. And I said, I have a little bit to add to that because, I had a source very close to Zack Snyder's circle, extremely close. And I put a little snugget in there and I said, do you remember what I said? Zack hates Joss. Zack Snyder has a tremendous amount of animosity and hate and disdain. Can't stand his guts for Joss Whedon. Ray Fisher is very much Zack Snyder's friend, boy, all that. He's there for him 100%. He was wearing the I Love Zack shirt. It's pretty much a cheerleader. So he wouldn't come out like this on his own and just out of nowhere, bro. This is 100%. This is my theory. Absolutely. This is 100% Zack. Y'all see Ray Fisher like, yo, This is 100% Zack Snyder's doing. Gave him the green light, said, go for it, bro. Making this happen. Zack is the guy behind this. This is Ray Fisher's Twitter account, and he's going to talk about his experience. I'm not saying that experience ain't real, but that backing, make it happen. Because he was silent for 3 years. What made him speak now? Zack Snyder, bro. Make it happen. Zack Snyder can't stand Whedon, wants him. He hated the fact that he came to do his film, hated the fact that he was there, and there's some other personal things like that as well. Also, I've been told some things, Zack personally, I'm going to say this right now. Here's another bit of information that I'll give you exclusively right now in Jody's Corner. Zack Snyder knows exactly what Joss Whedon has done. Zack Snyder knows exactly the things that Joss Whedon has done, but he will not come out and say it. For a fact, I knew that he knew in 2018. That's as far back as I can go with my knowledge of the situation. As of 2018, Zack Snyder hated, couldn't stand, wanted Joss gone, and knows about the things that he has done that would consider him to be pervish. Zack knows, but he can't be the one to say it because optics will look bad. Oh, you took over my films, or you're just trying to bash Joss. So he has to do it through other means. And this makes perfect sense. So there it is.
Well, and to add to your exclusive, which I added over there, I'm hearing rumors Jeff Johns is also next up to get hit by the bus.
That's a good point, because he also put Jeff and John Berg in this.
And so, and a lot of people are like, well, why is he putting Jeff Johns in there? Jeff's making this. Seems like a shot at his any future there at Warner Brothers. Why would he put Jeff Johns, who's still on work on stuff? Again, I'm being told, and I don't have specifics, so take it with a grain of salt, as they say. But I'm hearing that there's going to be more coming forward about Jeff Johns. Now, I don't know what that means. If that means abuse claims or whatever it is, or just he's out and clueless. But all of this points to a point. I think you're right. He didn't do this on his own. He didn't do this in a silo. Like, he did this with the blessing of somebody, because you can't come out with a swing like that unless you're safe. You have to have some confidence in you, and I think Ray Fisher clearly has some confidence here, because, as we were saying on my stream earlier, look, HBO Max is probably going to greenlight a Cyborg movie now for HBO Max, right? Like, there's probably stuff already in the hopper where Ray Fisher's feeling confident, secure, and sort of what they're going to do over there. And he wouldn't have done it without Zach's blessing. I don't believe he would have called this out and done this and stirred this fire, being a because it's like, imagine like Ray and I is like you and I, two friends, right? You think you're going to go out there and start doing some thing against Dan or Hal or somebody without talking to me first? Of course Jody would talk to me first. Like, I'm not going to go out there and take on someone from Jody's Corner and start calling them out unless I have Jody's blessing. That's just how it works. Think about it. Your best friend. Wouldn't you be pissed if they were out there talking smack without, like, good job, bro? That's what. So of course Zack Snyder he'll try and play dumb, and he can play like, I didn't know, it's all Ray.
That's exactly what it is.
And I think this is all confirming my story. Sorry, but it is. Warner Brothers hates Zack Snyder. Warner Brothers hates him. Jeff Johns hates him. They wanted nothing to do with him. And now that Warner Media and AT&T have stepped in, they've stepped in, and they're actually the power players now, not Warner Brothers. There is a war at hand, and Ray Fisher is now a soldier for Zack to say, all right, who else do we need to take out to get you back at where you were? That's what I think is happening right now. This is the beginning. This is a war and a chess game that's being played and will be played till Snyder Cut comes out, because you got to also think about Snyder's Justice League might not be that good. Let's be honest, right? It's not going to love it. So he's got to make some moves right now to use this momentum before the movie even comes out. So that way, regardless of how the movie performs, he's got some, eggs in the oven that can work later. And I think, he's tight with AT&T, he's tight with Warner Brothers. And I think there's a player. Well, who do we need to get rid of? We got to get rid of Jeff Johns. He's the problem. This is
also calculated.
He's movie out. And so to me, this is all a calculated attack to start putting things out there. And I think Joss is an easy target. People are just waiting. I was looking on Twitter while you're talking. It's like so many people coming out of the woodwork calling him a jerk. I always told you he's a sexist. I hated him. He's being canceled now. Like,
that might be true. And hey,
I don't support it. It may be true. It may be not. I hate when people come out of the woodwork. Yeah, screw him. Like, we got to get more.
Gotta wait.
But it doesn't matter on Twitter. It's the ball has now been thrown. He's trying to be number one, and it's now Joss is now not having a good day. and all the stuff that he was hoping was over is now getting lifted back up even louder than it was before. So he's in trouble. And so, but then this edition, you got to remember
the Jeff Johns thing. Jeez.
We're distracted about Joss Whedon, but he added Jeff
Johns thing is the huge. It's Snyder.
That's the story right there. Because we knew about Joss, but he put it like a footnote, and they enabled it. What
does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen?
Don't ignore that part of it.
Don't ignore that part. That's the agenda.
The movies right now. He's a working producer on DC movies, and Ray Fisher just was like, "Hey, dude."
They're trying to shift the power structure at DC right now. They're trying to bring that down. Now, I want to throw a curveball at you, Andy. You said maybe it's because, he has a power move. Maybe you got a Cyborg movie. That's why he's feeling empowered. Black Lives Matter. I would say that, what if it's the contrary? What if it's that they know? What if it's that Zack knows that once Zack Snyder's Justice League is done, he's out of there? And what if it's that Ray Fisher knows ain't no Cyborg movie going on? They're moving forward with Manhunter or Green Lantern. And now Zack is like, yo, this is a play. Look, you got this you need to go ahead and say something, so we could get these people up out of here, because Jeff Johns is up there at the top, and they're in there, and Jeff is in their ears saying, nah, F this Snyder thing, F that Ray Fisher thing, nah, that's not a good look. Maybe that could be the case. What do you think about that?
I mean, sure, it's something. It seems to me, both Ray and Zack, I mean, you tell me, but they seem confident right now. They are sitting on the throne. They got what they wanted. People are apologizing. They have the power.
I'm in the middle with it.
And I think
Ray confident, yeah.
Right? And I think you got to also keep in mind, HBO Max kind of sucks. They don't have anything going right now. Yeah. And so here they have this fervent fan base for the Snyder stuff. And there's talk. They probably know the talk. I mean, they can find out what Warner Brothers is working on for DC. And this Michael Keaton as the string puller of all the multiverses. Dude, that is brilliant. Whoever came up with that one, it is the brilliantest way to unify all the fandoms. Michael Keaton's one we all love. And if he's back and he's playing older Batman and he can sort of introduce the multiverse, and then suddenly we have an excuse for all of these multiple, worlds, and then Snyderverse can just go be on its own little thing on HBO Max. And then someday if they need to mention it, they can. It's a brilliant move, because I think everyone was sort of like, whatever. And then they dropped that Michael Keaton nugget. They dropped that Michael Keaton nugget, and I think that has distracted and gotten people on board more than you realize. So my point is, I think that's a plan now. HBO Max needs content. Black Lives Matter. Why wouldn't they make a Cyborg movie right now to follow up Justice League?
Yes, that's a good point, too. That's a good point.
We weren't stuck in a pandemic. Well, hello? Yeah. We make a Cyborg series? Please, we need to make stuff immediately. Why wouldn't you want to do something that's going to jump off the back of the big thing you're going to promote? Of course they want to do that. I'd be shocked if Zack Snyder doesn't already have 2 more series in development to jump off or piggyback from the Justice League thing that he's doing. Why would they pay all that money and make all this big to-do and not invest even more? You know what I mean?
Here's how I feel. I know exactly what you mean, and I agree with a lot of what you said. I disagree about the universe thing, and I think we need to do another video about that just on its own, because I have a really interesting opinion about that, but I'll save that for later. I feel like this is really calculated as far as the timing of it is, because Black Lives Matter movement and Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa is just as loyal to Zack Snyder as Ray Fisher is. Jason Momoa is more ensconced in the DC future with Aquaman than Ray Fisher is. Jason Momoa was the more popular, more powerful message to send out there, and he was on the set of Justice League, so maybe what was done to Ray was potentially affected Jason. So maybe Jason will come out and say something. But I feel like Jason was the more obvious person to use as a catalyst for what's going on here. But it's Ray, and I know it. I believe in my heart it's because of this climate we're in, where black is looked at right now. People are looking at black people and what they have to say, and I feel like that's good. We always should have been looked at what we have to say as much as anyone else. But I feel like this is more of a pandering thing by not Ray Fisher, but I believe it's more pandering to the timing of the movement and using it to its advantage, just like they did it with the Me Too movement, just like they did it with the movement in 2018 and 2019 and 17. So I feel like this is very much why we're getting what we're getting now, and it's why it's Ray Fisher instead of someone like Jason Momoa. So let me catch up on some of these donations. Divine Justice Allah says, Joss gave me the epicness that was Avengers 1. If he treated them bad, that was wrong. But why wait so long? Ray came hard as heck on Twitter. You're right. That's why we're sitting by on standby mode to see what is Ray going to say next. And I very much want to know. And I'm going to tell you, if what Ray says is convincing as shit, I'm about to come at Joss Whedon with that fire too, bro. That's what it's about. We need the evidence. We need to know this. Not even if we just believe in you and by your testimonial, that's enough for him to be up out of here. Let me see. K-Dot dropped $6. Shout out to K-Dot. Thank you, bro. Streamlabs. He says, Jody, I don't care for nothing Ray said. He lied at Comic-Con. He wants to boost after 3 years? He wants to boast? Little boy should have been the man and spoken up. He played a little boy role that his daddy got his movie coming out. Now he wants to be an internet warrior. That's K-Dot. That could be the thing. You know, that's the thing. There's so much that me and Andy, we can only assume. There's so much me and Andy can't speak on because we don't even know the accusations. I'm just looking to make sure. This is weird. Yeah, sorry. Andy, is this not weird? This is some weird shit that we don't even know the accusations. So it's like we're handcuffed.
He still said nothing. It's super weird. It's super weird, and it's I don't like when people do this.
No, clear. I don't either.
I see it both ways. Like I see this, and when I report on it, you can go check out my story after this. But it's like when I'm like, wow, this guy's got balls. Because I see it and I'm like, I don't think he would do this unless there was something to it. You know, there's something behind it. Because he's putting a lot on the line.
There's something there. I believe it.
To me, my gut says there's something there. Like you said, when there's fire. There's fire. At the same time, I'm with you also of like, Ray, come on, man. You're destroying a guy's life. Now, tell us what happened. Like that, you got to come out and tell us what happened. Or what is this? Because now what's happening is people are like, yeah, he's a jerk. Yeah, he did this. Remember this? Remember that? And it's like that's not helpful. And it feels like release the Snyder cut is what he's doing. It's like they're just dropping these little bombs on social media and then letting that sort of Snyder army like
straight promotion.
Social media just plow and destroy doesn't whatever it takes. And that to me is dangerous. We got to be careful of that. So look, people are coming out of the woodwork to bash. I see Alan Tudyk came and defended him, saying, "I can't imagine this being true." They're like best friends. He's got friends in the industry, so this is a fascinating story because. And
it's going to be developing over the next few days.
Yeah, they're not going to ignore this, and it's a slow. There's nothing else.
Subscribe to both channels.
This is going to be an ongoing story because I can't imagine more people aren't going to be asked or come forward, and they're all going to try to avoid it. Watch.
Do you think Do you think Zach is using? Do you think they're using Ray because of his color in Black Lives Matter a little bit?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because you said Jason Momoa. Why would he have been the better spokesman? Look, I think Jason Momoa is a bigger celebrity. He's got more on the line. I think Ray doesn't care right now. I think, and you're right. He's probably feeling empowered given the movement, and I feel it's clearly he and Jason are close to Zach. So will Jason come up next and support Ray? That would probably be a better move for Jason, right?
What is the rest of the cast gonna do?
But yeah, that's my point. Right now, you would want to support Ray because of the movement, and everything else, and your castmate, your friend, etc. But again, he's put everybody in a bit of a bind because he hasn't said what. So it's like, what if Gal or even Jason are like, "What are you talking about, man? Oh, really? I didn't know he did that." Like, what if that's what if it wasn't the same experience for all of them? So now they're stuck like, well, crap. Now everyone's asking me to comment.
Yep. So it's going to be a lot of tense interviews and stuff. People are going to be at DC Fandom. That's going to be a nightmare now.
Look, and the reality is they either know, and then they all are being complicit because they're not saying it too, right? If they knew he was abusive on set or racist or sexist, and they just ignored it, then we're at that problem at the beginning of the show. Then they're all hypocrites, is really how I feel. Or they didn't experience the same thing that Ray did, but they want to respect his feelings, and maybe there was something they didn't witness. That's why all of this is still very wonky for me. Of it's like, well, what are we supposed? Look, again, I respect that I'm hearing him. I think we do have to hear people when they come out with accusations like this. It's not like you just ignore it. I want to hear it, but Ray, you got to drop us more intel. And then at the same time, I got to hear Joss. But it's like hard. If I'm Joss Whedon, what do you say to that? I don't even know what he's talking about. And it's brilliant from a marketing standpoint. Take note because that's actually how you should do it. If you're out there to destroy somebody, you want to come out with something broad and vague. And then let it sit and simmer, forcing the person to respond.
This is calculated.
And then when he responds, they sort of deny it or whatever. And then you drop the next thing saying, "Oh yeah, really? You deny it?" And then you're like, and then it's just torching, So Joss needs to know what is he saying, or he's making it up, and then it's a whole then it's even more. So yeah, this one fascinates me because there's a lot.
This is incredibly calculated. That's one thing that me and Eddie can both agree on here. It's not one of those raw, I'm in the moment now. This is very calculated. The timing of it is so suspect. Here's another one. So K-Dot says, Ray Fisher's words mean nothing to me. He waited too long. Should have kept it 100 day one, but like nobody he already was though. Divine Justice is gonna tear it up. He says, this is the problem when there's no leadership. Where is Walter Hamada in all of this? Is he just a face? He can't do shit, can he? What can he do? It's the higher DC, Warner Brothers, AT&T, this whole sheet in which it lends credence to the fact that AT&T hijacked Warner Brothers and made this Snyder's Justice League thing happen, which is opening up all of this floodgate, right? Maybe it's going to be a good thing. Maybe Zack Snyder's Justice League being approved is a good thing, because if Ray Fisher comes and outs Joss as being a prick and a douchebag and an abuser, then we could get him up out of there, which is a good thing. But it's a bad thing because who's running the show? AT&T at will could say, nah, we're going to do this. Walter Hamada could say, well, I want to, and the AT could say, nah, we're going to do this. There is no clear direction or leadership at Warner Brothers, at AT&T, at Warner Media, whatever the freak you want to call it. That's the problem right now. There was so much. Walter Hamada was the guy for a point, and I was looking at him like, you're the dude. But he got his balls in a pinch from people higher up in him at AT&T who don't have the experience that Walter Hamada or other executives at Warner Brothers would have. Jeff Johns very much is a capable comic book writer, storyteller, not so much a good executive in my opinion. When I saw him at Justice League premiere, he was just he didn't want to be there. He doesn't like the camera, he doesn't like the lights, he doesn't like chilling with fans. He's a secluse who needs to be in a corner in a dark room working. He ain't built to be an executive at Warner Brothers in my opinion, unless it's on the creative end. Hiring, greenlighting projects, that's not his strong suit in my opinion. But when it comes to the actual structure at the hierarchy of DC, there is no clarity. Who do we look to when things go wrong? Walter Hamada? Bert? AT&T? Who's the person? There is no clear person because there's no communication. And that's exactly why I think DC fandom that's coming up is going to be so important. Hopefully that's a mission statement. Hopefully they'll clarify what is what and who's the hierarchy, who's the boss, who's calling the shots, what's coming out and what it's going to be. Until then, I have no answer for that, Divine Justice Allah. We do not know who is at the head over at AT&T Warner Media, and that's scary.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And so I think it was Justice made the same comment of, think about fandom this next month. It's going to be bonker.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, look, DC, and then what's weird is like, again, why did Ray do this? Like, you're right. There's something about like, even if AT&T and Warner Media is like in charge, and they're given this moment, it feels like this is still anti getting things done for Ray. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm Warner Media, I'm gonna see this and go, damn, come on, dude, shut up. We're working on a movie. Like, if anything, it makes it more difficult. So it does. Part of me thinks, yeah, you're right. It's even more calculated. Like, let's get the fans on board. Let's get them rallying behind him. So that way they have to sort of do what they say. It's really mob mentality at its worst, you know?
Let's say it goes through. All right. Ray says the story. Joss is out of there.
I mean, Joss is already out of there.
Yeah, I mean, and John Berg and Jeff Johns, they're out. What do you think is the intent behind that? Is it justice, or is it to position people out of power to insert people in that position?
I mean, part of me thinks that I don't see, if I'm Ray Fisher, I don't do that unless I feel very confident that they're on their way out. If I feel very confident, I'm told by Zach and others that Johns and Berg are out, then I might feel more confidence that, you know what, I'm going to call it Josh because he was a scumbag to me. And Zach hates him, and he deserves, all the stuff that's said about him is true. Zach's told me, whatever. Maybe that's accurate. Again, maybe. So he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to just torch this guy because I'm sick of how they treated him. And I don't like that I had to go out there and play Warner Brothers boy and just sort of do what they said. It's enough is enough. In which case, the people like K-Dots were like, screw you. But I give them some respect because it's like, it's tough. It's tough to be the first person to go against the curve and put everything on the line. But I see he's doing it right now. Because I don't care what deals are being made. He is putting deals in jeopardy. So be pissed at him all you want for not saying it then. He's saying it now. And the reality is, like, I still think though there's probably a deal in place to do the Cyborg movie or something else with him but maybe there's a Titans movie or something that we don't know that they're going to announce a fandom where it's like, yep, because why not? And if Ray can sort of put some stir up and become a hero before fandom, even more so to announce there. By the way, we're doing the Cyborg, whatever movie, Deathstroke movie, something for HBO Max. I would be shocked if we don't get some HBO Max announcements that involve Snyder. So not only the Snyder cut sort of footage we'll get, but by the way, you're also going to see this and this. These are now in development. I mean, that's how you make a big bang, and especially use that moment to sort of show, oh crap, right? So look, and mark my words, Andy Domus, if that happens, because this was all part of that plan. He knew going in that was happening. I don't think those deals are going to happen because he tweeted this. Do you know what I mean? That if anything, he's putting that deal in jeopardy. But I think he probably only is tweeting this because he already has those deals like in the works and feels like, yeah, they're going to go no matter what. They can't fire me. I'm Black Ray Fisher right now. The movement's on my back. Screw sexual predator Joss Whedon. This is a no-brainer for me. I win is probably a little bit of what he's thinking.
Jesus said, I'm sure that he go see Ray Fisher in the Flash movie, which is interesting because, Cyborg is a very integral part of the Flashpoint story if they're going to utilize that. And then we have a Diamond member, JJ Smooth, says, Beyond would be tight, but I feel like the original Bat Family needs justice on the big screen first. A little bit iffy on the Batman. And then he also said, I wonder what Ben Affleck knows. That's the thing. Poor Ben Affleck, dude. He's gonna be chilling, trying to move on, making these movies and shit. He's gonna be getting questions. Yeah, what do you think about Joss Whedon? What? What do you think about Batman? Being Batman, Joss Whedon, Batman, Jeff Johns,
black people.
Imagine how that is. Imagine how that is for Ben Affleck, who's moved on. And he's going to be asked these questions.
Anna de Armas on the beach, right? Exactly.
He can't get away. He can't win. He can't buy a time. It sucks. And here's that. Gal's gonna. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to hear from Gal. We're gonna have to hear from Henry. Maybe Ezra. The whole Justice League cast is part of this now, because Ray Fisher said the way he acted, his on-set treatment of cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. So, who's in the cast?
And it's so weird because it's like these were reshoots, so it's so hard it's hard for me to believe, Jody, to be honest. Like, because it's like, how do you come on to somebody's movie with a cast that's already been shooting, who's annoyed, frustrated, nervous, whatever, and then just treat them all like crap? It's hard to believe that Joss would just have that much of an ego to be like, yeah, I'm here, whatever, suck it up, shut up, spin this and make that like, what is that? Or are they trying to paint a narrative that they were always against Joss's vision, right? And they were pushing back, and Joss. That's
another element.
No, do the joke. No, I don't want to do the joke. And then they were all sort of, and that's what Ray's calling abusive, of them trying to like stand up for the movie and Zach and the vision, and then Joss injecting Joss Whedon, and that pissed them off, and then he's spinning that into abuse. Like, that's where I'm worried. Like, abuse, that triggers me, just because that's like
the word abuse. That's serious. That's legalities involved here now.
Or he yelled at us, or abuse is a strong word, Ray Fisher.
Exactly.
So
gross and then abuse.
The other thing we haven't talked about is like Ray Fisher could be on his phone with his reps right now going, what the hell did you just do? Like, it is possible.
That too.
It is possible where there's some people on the phone with Ray like, dude, why did you do that? Now what do we do? You can't, do you want to be sued by Joss Whedon? Because that's what can happen in the real life. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why the story is so fascinating, because it's like, I'm still
it's fascinating.
Like, whoa, what do we do next?
Here's the tweet again, showing you guys once again. This is a tweet from Ray Fisher today, about approximately 4 hours ago, where he said Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He was enabled. Here's where we got a little bit of something else extra. He was enabled. This is a whole nother layer. In many ways, by Jeff Johns and John Berg. Accountability is greater than entertainment. That he was enabled part seems so directed, choreographed, pre-written, predetermined. And I'm going to say this. I've heard too many things about Joss Whedon for me not to believe there's something going on. And you can't hide who you are. Joss, if you want some of that bullshit, bro, you about to get your shit wrecked. not only by your peers, not only by Twitter, me as well, your contemporaries, all of us are about to take a piece of that Joss hide. If some of this shit that you did is what Ray Fisher is accusing you of. And I think all it takes is for this to roll out, and then we're going to get more about Joss from the past. His ex-wife came out and said some things that kind of was covered up quickly. Maybe Joss has people in high positions that protect him. Who knows? One thing I do know is, God dang it, Ray Fisher, what did he do? What did he do? Celebrob says, I'm glad Ray is finally speaking his truth. Oh. Me too, if it's truth. If it is truth, then...
There's only one truth. His truth. See how quickly we all turn. If this was, my accuser, you're all like, screw her and her truth. But that's like his. No, you got to go both ways in that. Forget his truth, her truth. What's the truth?
Bernard R. Hart said $10 out of him. He says Joss Whedon did try to force Gal Gadot to do the scene when Flash landing on her cleavage. They had a huge back and forth and ultimately refused to do the scene, and they had to use a stunt double. Well, that's
someone in the chat, I was trying to find it.
If that's true, I heard about that too. I heard about the scene where Flash was laying on top was a stunt double, and Gal didn't want to do it.
Why didn't Gal speak up, Jody? But someone's saying the stunt woman.
If she felt some type of way, she should have said something for sure. Definitely.
That's my point. Sometimes it's hard.
Is it real? Is this a real thing? Is this a real thing? No.
The point is, sometimes it's hard to speak forward. Is all I'm trying to get.
Yeah, look, we don't know. We don't know this.
Someone said that her stunt double has spoken up. Is that true? Did anyone find that online? If someone does, let us know.
I seen a clip where her stunt double said she agreed that Joss needs to be outed too.
Got it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. No, we're going to see. I think this is it's interesting because Alan Tudyk said it wasn't there, but I've known Joss 17 years. Honestly, I can't even imagine it, and I have a pretty good imagination. Alan Tudyk, though, is just being a friend there. Good for him, I would say. Good on him, because you got sometimes, even if your friend does something stupid, you got to attempt to give them the benefit of the doubt and defend them. And then if something comes forward, you have to address. But I don't fault Alan Tudyk for coming out and defending his friend at all. But what's interesting is then, of course, the comments are, so you're going to dismiss a black actor's words with his experience? It's very ignorant. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so now he's getting peppered for even trying to defend Joss. And that, to me, is where stuff gets scary. And that's what Ray knows is happening right now. So it does make me a little annoyed. It's like, Ray, look, we're listening. You got our attention. Speak up now, man. That's not fair. Speak up. If you're going to call him out, call him out. Don't just do it broadly. That's not cool. That's cowardly.
And I'm going to pretend, let's pretend just for the sake, for you guys knowing my opinion, let's assume that Gal did not want to do that scene and she did have to ask the double because she didn't want to do it. That happens all the time in film. There was nothing wrong done there. She just felt like that wasn't appropriate. Maybe it'd been creepy. And she was like, nah, I'm good. Those type of disagreements happen all the time on set. Dave Chappelle spoke on Blue Streak a lot after the fact, many, many years after the fact of Blue Streak coming out, where they wanted to put him in a dress. The casting director, where we put you in the dress. I don't want to do that scene, man. I don't really want to do the dress. Oh, come on, Dave. You don't do the dress, man. I think it's cheesy. Everyone's doing it, man. Why don't you want to do it? Well, if everyone's doing it, it's kind of hacky, and I don't want to be just like that. I don't want to do it. Oh, you're being difficult. Then the producer would come down and say, what's going on? You don't want to do the scene? Why don't you want to wear the dress, Dave? I don't want to wear the dress because it's hacky. I don't like the idea. I don't want to wear the dress. Oh, you're being difficult. And then the executive producer comes and says, yo, what's going on about the dress? Come on, Dave, do the dress. And then Dave's like, I don't want to do the dress. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Oh, okay. And then he said 3 minutes later, they had a whole new written script scene where there was no dress. So it's part of the industry. And I'm glad that if Gal felt uncomfortable about doing that scene, she stood up for herself and says, nah, I don't want to do this shit. I don't like the way, And Josh was like, all right, let's get the double in here. Case closed. Now, abuse, gross, unprofessional, unacceptable, that's totally different what Ray Fisher's talking about. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, and there's still no new other news. I'm just trying to check to make sure. It's still no other comments from anybody. But yeah.
Like G Knight said, either way, she did say something. She did say something either way, if that's the case. Belay, Diamond member, says, bruh, there's evidence of Amber Heard and Ezra Miller, and I haven't heard or seen anyone from Warner Brothers trying to get them out of here. Amber got to go to jail. Facts. So then what happens?
She's in trial.
What happens if this comes out? Amber Heard should have gotten Amber Heard should have gotten the axe for a long. Like
he is suing her.
Yes,
so I like. Thank God he's on that and he's doing it. So we got to that is a reality.
And there's video evidence of Ezra Miller physically assaulting a girl outside of a bar. Yes, it looked whack. That was a whack trash take, but he choked her and guided her to the ground. I can't even say threw her to the ground. He guided her to the ground by her throat. It's still abuse. It's still assault. That's criminal. He probably settled out of court, but we know, let's keep it a buck. When it comes to the LGBTQ community, they're protected. And now it looks like, hopefully, I would love to be part of a community that's protected, but not when I'm wrong, though. When something is wrong, it's wrong, and it should be shed light upon. Ezra Miller's living his best life like nothing happened. So what's going to happen with Joss Whedon? Is he going to live his best life like nothing happened? That's wrong. Ezra should be accountable, just like if Joss did some shit, he should be accountable. So I want that equality. Black Lives Matter is not about, listen to me, I'm the only one that matters now. Yeah, I'm black. What's up? Power trip. It's not about that. It's about equality. It's about, I want the same treatment as him, as her. Equal. Just like what feminism is supposed to be about. Women and men being given the same equal opportunity in life. Not to be treated as men, because they're not. Men and women are different. But the equality of it is what I believe in. I believe in the real definition of what feminism is. I believe that Black Lives Matter. I believe in equality. So yeah, Ray Fisher, it's good to know that you're coming out and saying something, even though I say the timing is suspect and the wording of it all is suspect in my opinion. It's all suspect. But, brother, I'm listening. It's messy how you did it. It's messy what you said and what you've done in the past and the timing of it. But, brother, I'm listening. Speak. You are sitting on your hands for 5 hours now. What did he do? So then, once I figure out what he did and it's real, I'll ride for you too. That's what it is. You got us sitting on our hands right now, bruh. The shit is weird. Andy, I'll give you a final thought before we get on up out of here, man.
Well, I got an exclusive for you here. Go to Joss Whedon's Twitter. It's interesting. He hasn't said anything, but if you go to his likes, he's been active just liking random stuff for the past several hours, including 19 minutes ago. And he liked a reply by Alan Tudyk when Tudyk defended him because someone said, you weren't there, end of story. And then Alan Tudyk said, true, I shouldn't deny another person's experience. I wasn't there. It's ignorant. I have my experiences in and out of work with Joss where he has been kind and supportive, brilliant, and funny. He is a hard worker, a taskmaster, and passionate, if unconventional dancer, respect, which Joss Whedon liked. So he's online, he's paying attention, and he's liking just a bunch of random other tweets, and including just a bunch of political stuff and Black Lives Matter stuff. But it's weird to me that he's just business as normal over there on Twitter. Like I would have expected he would just be offline, or either he would be active or not active. But and I don't believe it's like a team member. It's so he's on Twitter liking stuff, showing that he's heard it, he's paying attention. But it's not odd. Mm-hmm. It's just weird. So I don't know. It's shocking he's not doing. I mean, if I was being accused of something like that right now and trending,
I don't think that Josh is going to reply.
Yeah, I would be like a rep planning, and I wouldn't just be liking people for doing nondescript things. But he just shows he's not. I guess he's not as worried.
Celebrob says, "I didn't mean it like that, Andy. I'm glad that he has the courage to speak out. Hopefully, we get more information soon."
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think Josh shouldn't say anything until his accusations are made upon him. Correct,
and that's a lesson for everybody. You gotta and in fact, I would even say if I'm Josh, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Ray, please reach out. I'm so sorry. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I did, but I'd love to more information to hear your side, to listen to what happened. That's probably the best response right now, to sort of play ignorance and apologize broadly of just oh, I'm so sorry if I did something wrong. I'd love to, please reach out. I'd love to have a dialogue with you. Mm-hmm. It's how you should do it. And then hopefully he actually does reach out, and then it puts the pressure on him to reach out, right? Or then Ray's got to go even harder and say, well, no, you did this, you called me this, or whatever, But yeah, it's odd. It's odd he's out. That's what I'm saying. It's odd to see him active on Twitter and then ignoring it.
Yeah, but then you know the structure of this. You've been through this personally, Andy. When you get accused, you gotta kind of know. You gotta think 2-3 steps ahead to play it the right way, to make yourself not put yourself in a trap, but to not offend and make the situation worse. And I think.
And to say, I was gonna say, to echo on that, you're right. You would go to Alan Tudyk just like Ray would go to Zach and say, "Hey, Alan, can you put something out there, please?" Right? Because Alan's probably calling Joss, going, "What's going on?"
Joss's phone is blowing up. Ray's phone is blowing
Alan
up.
is calling him, saying, "What's going on? What do you want me to say something?" And I'm sure Joss is like, "Yeah, go ahead," because he's even liking it. So he's trying to play defense by having his friends go out there and support him. That goes both ways. But go ahead. Sorry.
Serge said Joss probably isn't going to respond. He's probably thinking ant boot. That was Serge 562. Shout out to Serge, man, Diamond member. So yeah, I'm gonna say there's. I will ride for you. Andy will ride for you because we believe in justice and getting tyrants out of the way. But I want to make sure that this is clear. This is not let's defend Joss. I'm completely looking at both sides as with all the information that we have at this moment. But me and Andy could only go so far based on what we know because we haven't heard what Ray Fisher is accusing the man of. There's only so far we could go, and we're going to be talking about this more in the future, so make sure you subscribe to Jody's Corner and Popcorn Planet because whenever the news breaks, the discussions will be had. So I'm saying this. We got your back, Ray Fisher. If what was done to you was wrong and you got some stuff to say that was definitely wrong that we need to correct, say it though. You've done it wrong. The timing was wrong. The way you're saying it is wrong. Waiting around is wrong. But if what you said is true, I got your back too, bro. And we gonna freaking get Joss up out of there. Joss, as of this moment, I like you as a creator. I've heard shady things about you a lot for a long time. I think you got some skeletons in that closet, bruh. And there's only so long that you can hide them if they exist. That's all I got for right now. That's it. Thank you so very much for watching this amazing stream. Tomorrow is going to be Nerd Wars at 6 p.m. on Andy's channel. It'll be live at 6. I'll also be live at the same time on another channel, Sergeant Horror on the Mad Monster YouTube channel.
Hey, thanks. You were competing when I hooked you up with my friend. God, I gotta talk to him. What a freaking douchebag. I'm like hooking up Jody with my friend. He's like, "Yeah, why don't you go do the same time Andy goes?" Oh, that makes sense.
Because he wanted to do it Friday. I couldn't do it Friday because I have a show on Friday.
Yeah, cool. So you guys, we'll see who you love more, Jody. Some channel. Now I'm not.
If Andy's mad, we'll push it to Saturday. Then we'll try to push it to Saturday. It's not a problem. But that's what it's gonna go down. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Subscribe to both channels. Thank you, the members. Thank you, the donators. Thank you for everyone who supports and likes the videos. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Jody's Angels. It's going to be a huge thing coming up this Friday. Stay tuned for updates across both channels as they become available. Got my eye on Ray Fisher. Me and Andy's eyes are on him like a hawk, like the freaking manager from Spider-Man. Give me the rent. Where's the rent?
If you want more, you can hear Lewis and I's take on it after this. Go click on over.
Yeah, his video is already on his channel, so you can get to Lewis and
Josh. But going over to Popcorn Planet, enjoy.
So there it is, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Jody. That's Andy. Man, this was Yin and Yang Special Edition, Ray Fisher Edition. We out.